Am I up? I really hope I'm up. Um, Give me 1 second to look at it. Mm, Private that one. Oh, ready? Is this it? Hold on. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I tried to make it so that I could do a bit of drawing while doing this stream. Turns out I can't. My computer is too shitty to be able to do that. And so here we are. I'm going to just be talking for this stream instead. And you know what? Works perfectly fine for me because I have issues being able to talk loudly. I I think that's what I'm trying to say. I just I have issues talking while drawing. I thought I would be able to do it, but I ended up not. I ended up stumbling. There are a few streams that I just privatized. I've been trying to figure this out for the last 35 minutes, and it has not gone well at all. But you know what? I'm here now, uh, and I just I want to spend some time talking on my YouTube channel. I know probably no one's gonna show up because I'm pretty sure that one viewer that's there is actually me trying to make sure that my stream is working. But oh, it's not me because it is. Thank you, Heart the Dead. uh, but yeah, so I just wanted to talk I just wanted to talk about things that have been going on. I have, I think, I I've been doing a lot of everything, and so I I may have found a place to live. I I may have found a place to live. I'm gonna be seeing that on July 12th, but yeah, so now it's not just aimlessly packing. As you can tell behind me, I literally have almost everything packed. I had to actually unpack my microphone. I had to unpack my camera. I had to unpack everything. It was absolutely just disastrous, and rents are so high right now that it's really hard to actually find someone. It's really hard to find places to live right now, so I am moving pretty far away from where I currently am, but it's fine. Yeah. Um but yeah. So I also wanted to talk about a few things, of which it is the fact that I have had quite the health problems lately, and it's caused quite quite the difficulties in my life. So I had a possible case of COVID in January. I had issues also getting a test, so I honestly don't really know if it was COVID. It was likely COVID. My mother, who was living with me at the time, she's now left me to defend on my own again, which I'm fine with. But so she ended up being hospitalized, and she had a positive case of COVID. Now, her only contact was, of course, me, and so, you know what? It's fine. I just had issues getting a test 'cause her government government is just uh, but yeah, so I had that. I had all your classic symptoms except for the loss of uh, taste and smell. That I didn't have, but I had almost everything else. And one of those included difficulty breathing. Now, for the rest of the time, the last several months, I've been trying to figure out why the fuck am I having issues breathing? I am now on inhalers. I now have a respirologist, and I saw him like a few weeks ago, not even like a week ago, a week and a half ago. And ugh, oh my god. He my tests have all come back negative for asthma or anything of the like. And so it's just so difficult. I don't really know what to do because they're like, according to the test, you don't have this thing that you probably also likely have, and but we're also gonna still give you these meds for this thing because it's helping you. And I'm like, so now I'm doing more tests in August, at the end of August. I yeah, Hurt the Dead, it is exhausting. I also in the last week, I have had to stop going to work for like 6 days because I couldn't breathe. Uh, because turns out my allergies got worse, and they got so bad that they create. I started. Um, I usually take like Reactin. Of course, it's by my desk. I usually take Reactin to like control it, but I couldn't take Reactin. Well, I could, but it did nothing. So then I saw my at that point, this is before, like, seeing my respirologist. Uh, and so when I went to see him, I was like, "Hey, this shit's not working anymore, and I can't afford to have all these days off. What the fuck can I do?" So I'm waiting on a prescription to go through, and then I'll have stronger allergy meds. Maybe. I mean, he gave me a trial period for 3 days, only 3 days though, and then I had to go see my doctor for more because it's a allergy medication that has to be prescribed. So it just it sucks. Life sucks. That's where we're going with this. Yeah, so life's been kind of crazy. Really glad I did do the thing uh that I did in all of like um was it March that I did everything in? No, May. May. Which is I recorded a bunch of videos and I have them all scheduled because if I did not have all of those scheduled, I would not have had my whole situation done the way it is. No, they do not. Also, I have a sleep disorder that makes me not sleep. So, yeah, my allergy meds they don't cause drowsiness. At least for me, they don't. They never have. Usually, if there's a side effect of drowsiness, I don't know exactly the science behind it, but I never get that side effect. Um, but I know that I haven't talked to my doctor about it, but I know that I have probably a sleep disorder called delayed sleep phase disorder. So, because I can't sleep at night specifically, which is why this stream is so late in the day, because I I like my sleep, but I can only sleep during the day. It sucks. It makes it really hard to find a job, but I can't really do anything about it because it's like my brain missed astrology class or something. I thinks the sun is the moon and the moon is the sun. Granted, it helps with the fact that I'm super sensitive to the sun as well, in that contact with my skin makes it, painful. Again, I'm really bad at going to my doctor for these things. I literally, when I was having the breathing issues, I waited 2 months before going to see my doctor. Cause then I was like, "You know what? Maybe it is a problem." I honestly I honestly do not know if I went to a completely different time zone if that would help. But you know what? I would see it, because God, it's so awful. Granted, I also can't go anywhere that's too hot. I'm just too susceptible to heat and the sun, so uh, I'd rather stay in Canada in the city where it's nice and cloudy. It actually is pretty cloudy for it being July, and I like it that way. It is granted 24 degrees Celsius, so I will not be going outside because to me that is ugh, that's very hot. Um, but yeah, whenever I go outside, guess who has to have an umbrella for the sun? uh, but yeah, I'm one of the few people in my that I ever see outside. If it's sunny, I have an umbrella. But if it's rainy, I don't really care. If it's raining, I'm like, all right, it's fine. Of course, now the rain poses the problem of a moist air. If my allergies are out of control, as I realized a few weeks ago, if my allergies are out of control, uh, the wet air does not help. Kind of sucks, and so yeah, it makes the mucus in my lungs just kind of grow a lot more, and ugh. I'd rather it be cool and raining than hot and sunny because yeah. Yeah, humidity is awful. It sucks. This is it's just absolutely awful. Hold on. What's going on? Let's dismiss all of that. Um, but yeah, no, it's absolutely shitty. Um, I do want to talk about some things that have been happening with my writing, though. As you can see, I have my little notebook that I write all of my world building in. Now, recently, I have entered into somewhere I never really wanted to enter into in my writing, but I knew was going to happen, and that is mental torture. Now, as someone who had a very difficult childhood, I had a childhood where my family all they just they all are absolute manipulators. My mother, in fact, I sh we don't talk anymore. This past year has taught me that she can not be a good mother. She just can't. I've realized this, and I'm finally like, "You know what? I'm done." So, yeah, when she left me to pay for this place, which I cannot afford, to be completely 100% transparent, I cannot afford. I am going to be moving to a place that is like 850 a month, including utilities. I have been paying the last 3, 4 months 987 plus 50% utilities, which ends up being around $1,200 a month. Now, I work a minimum wage job at a fucking coffee shop. I That's like not doable to do 1,200. I've managed it. I have. I made my mom give me like $1,200 to spend over that 4 months, but that barely helped. It just barely did anything. And so, yeah, kind of just all around sucks. But you know what? I'm leaving this place. I had a little bit of a argument with my current landlord because apparently my lease says something else, but the lease is wrong in that I signed on to be here for a year and no longer, and the lease is apparently at like 13 months. Yeah, when I was uh yeah, it is really hard to accept that family can be awful. And I knew that I was better without most of them. Like, I thought I could stay in touch with my mother. I thought I could, you know, live a life with her and just no one else. Little did I know she would be bringing the rest of them back into my life after I had gone through a name change, phone number change, living arrangement change. The only thing I didn't change was my work, which is how keep trying to get in contact with me. They keep showing up at my work. And yeah, a lot of people don't understand boundaries. My family is definitely one of those people, groups of people. My One of the last things my mother said to me was actually that you know how to contact me if you ever want to see me, if you want to see me again. Well, actually, it wasn't that kind of wording. It was like, "You know how to contact me when you wanna see me again." And I was so mad. I was so goddamn mad that I was at the end of a rope. And so I just straight up I am so sorry, I'm hitting my microphone. Uh, but I just straight up went, "You know what? You make it sound like I'm gonna do it, and I'm not." And yeah, completely honest there. And so, yeah, got to deal with all of that. Um, but recently, my family has been showing up at work again, but it's not my brother who was doing it before, and my entire store knows to send him away. Instead, it's uncles and aunts, and it's absolutely just tiring. Like, they show up when I'm not there, thankfully, but if I was there, I'd have to deal with that myself, and I don't want to. I'm tired of it. I I'm someone who hates drama, yet my life is full of it. It really sucks. like, uh, but yeah, like I changed my name to get away from them and turn and also to help with the fact that I probably have PTSD. My brother was my physical abuser. My father was mentally abusive. I have so many just bad memories from my childhood, and I actually don't have any good ones. Sad to say, and that's actually why I started making YouTube videos when I was 16. And I was doing it off of a phone. I didn't have a video editor. I didn't have all of this other stuff. I just needed an outlet. Frankly, if you go back to those videos now, ugh. well, the thing is, they can't really do much about it. Um, they won't give out information or anything because they can't. Um, but what would happen if I was there is I I've made it so that if they show up, I go to the back room until they leave, because everyone knows I don't wanna deal with that. Everyone in the store knows. They know a lot of the backstory, not everything, but a lot, and it's just absolutely awful. And so everyone knows, "Okay, send her to the back," like, I will continue working in the back, as in, I will be doing the several thousand loads of dishes that are back there. But yeah, my brother did show up once while I was actually at work, and what was that? I just heard something. I'm sorry. But yeah, so whole my whole store knows all of that. And so the one time he did show up while I was there, I was lucky in that I had just gone on my half-hour break because then I get one of my coworkers coming in the back and be like, "There's someone here for you." Now me, knowing my brother had just showed up like a few weeks prior, I went to the cameras at the back desk and I looked at them and I immediately recognized my brother and my great aunts. And I just went, "I'm not here." Like, no. So they just flat out lied and said I wasn't there. It was it was a thing. It happened. And yeah, but I actually did have to deal with my brother face to face a few months ago because I wanted to get rid of something that was a family heirloom that my grandmother gave to me. And I just didn't want it anymore. I didn't want reminders of my family, who I'm related to. Like I I changed my name because I don't want the reminders. And it helps in not giving me the reminders. However, being that I do work at a Starbucks, I have to see names, and my old name was pretty common. So every now and then I see that name and I want to die on the inside. So it, it's fairly triggering, but you know what? I'm I'm here. I'll learn to deal with it. But yeah, like so yeah, it's just how things go. I was dealt a bad hand to begin with, and I understand that I've done the best I could with it. Granted, I do have a body that does not particularly like what I do to it to make sure I can stay on my own, stay away from them because I literally today is my first day off in 8 days. Yeah, I hope. It's only been like a year, maybe a year and a half since I made the change. It's almost been 2 years since I made the actual yeah, 2 years since I made the actual final decision to change my name, but it still does cause some triggers and flashbacks, and despite the fact that I have aphantasia, flashbacks are still a real thing, uh, but instead of a visual flashback that some people get, I get the feeling back. I can hear things. I It's just feeling and hearing. That's mainly what it is. And it's just absolutely awful. I should be going to therapy, but I do not because I am absolutely terrified of therapy. Like, absolutely terrified of it. Uh, it's because I've had bad uh experiences with therapy, honestly, because I have gone to therapy several times over my father, and the therapist I had was just like, "No, but he's your dad. He's supposed to." They were thinking I was being overreactive, and frankly, I don't think I am because my father's an asshole. Like, he agreed with his girlfriend that I should be going to a gym to lose weight when I was 13. I was 13 years old. You do not tell a 13-year-old child this, frankly. At least I don't believe you should be. Uh, so we had a huge fight. I started crying because I was really just mad. And at this point in my life, my anger manifested in tears. And so that's just how things worked. Um, but yeah. He gave me the ultimatum of uh call him if I ever wanted to see him again. I never I never called him. My mom made me call him for my grade 9 graduation though. Yeah. And then a few years later, he uh he wouldn't give up insurance information so I could get new glasses. Um So that was fun. I went without glasses for like a month and a half until my mom had her brother send her money to pay for my glasses because I needed glasses to see, uh, which my dad should understand because he wears glasses as well. But you know what? Apparently he didn't. Kind of sucks. Uh, yeah, that that little, uh, experience with the glasses is what made me realize my dad just didn't care, uh, so, yeah, uh, it's funny because they my family always treated my brother so much better, and I saw that, and so I was essentially the one that was always picked on. I was the one that constantly, constantly was just the scapegoat. And the moment I left, my mom became the scapegoat. And so I thought she would understand a little more And this is actually what this past year has been. Like, it's just I thought that she would understand, that she'd wanna just, talk about what my brother did. Like, I was ready to listen. I was ready to be there. I was because she became the scapegoat after I left. I was ready to talk to her about things that I had never talked to her about. And I was ready for her to tell me what happened. She never wanted to talk about it. Never. And she made the excuse of negative feelings making her go into a seizure. Like, yes, I get she has epilepsy, but you can't just run away from negative feelings. I know this from experience. I have spent a lifetime of trying to do that. I'm 23 now. I I have tried to run from it, and I know that I can't. And so it's kind of just difficult to deal with. I'm just getting a text from a coworker here. Um, but yeah, so I just I lost a lot of my respect for my mother over the last year that I had to live with her, which it only managed to be like 8, 9 months actually, but you know what? She she proved to me who she really is. Someone who does not really care, despite the fact that she is my mother. But yeah, I actually remember one of my conversations with her was, "Oh, I'm such a good mother," and I'm just went, "Excuse me? Do you do you not know what I had to go through in my childhood for you to just be like, "Ah, I was such a good mother. Oh my god." Like, no. And this is shortly after she went back to like a nursing home, and like she's in a home, like assisted living home, really, and honestly, she's better off there. But of course, she has an attitude, and so she keeps running. She keeps trying to run away from there, and her first place to stop is here, my house, because it is very close. So glad she's not going to know where I live soon because I am tired of it. And every time she leaves, they call me being like, "Is she there?" And actually, the last time they did it was when I was dying in bed because of my allergies and I couldn't breathe. So they kind of just, they just, it just happened with a lot of things. So they called me and I was like, I haven't spoken to her in like a month, 2 months maybe. And I'm just like, ugh. It's absolutely just. I kind of wish I was dealt a different hand in my life, but you know what? I wasn't. But it's fine. I've learned. I've learned to deal with it the way it is. Um, but things are just things are just the way they are. It's fine. But yeah. Also, I wish I could cut out all the but yes. This is why I was always so scared of streaming, actually, was because I could not edit out all of my flumbers. I could not edit out like, I can't edit out all the, me trying to figure out what the fuck I'm saying or, just everything, like, the amount of editing I do on my videos of just me cutting out all of those speech problems is insane, and, like, I had a plan to do some drawing, show some drawing off, and I just couldn't do that. So, oops. Uh, but yeah, I just need I need a better fucking computer. I fucking wish I could afford one, but maybe after I move. After I move. Because also after I move, I'm finding a new job so that I no longer have to deal with family finding finding me where I work. Because yeah. It's also just better for my health. Uh but it's honestly just better for my health if I do just leave where I work because one, I have an Achilles tendon injury that I have had now for since February of 2021, and it's not healing because I can't afford to let it heal. I now have this breathing issue that is not quite controlled yet. But yeah, so it's just not quite controlled yet, and there's so many other health like after during my shifts usually I have a leg that just goes numb and it wants to stop working and I don't know why. I'm probably just overworked over over everything and it's just it's it's so just bad. uh, and the fact that I have to constantly go outside and deal with my allergens and it's just like sure I could probably get it all figured out except for the Achilles tendon thing eventually, but I think it's just best I go for a job that I actually have a degree in, which is graphic design. Yeah, I went to school for that. I tried to get a job and I got one interview. And at the time, I was just in, like, a hurry to get a job because I needed one. I needed to get out of the house. I needed to leave my family behind. And so I just needed a job. So then I got a job at Starbucks and I just focused on leaving. And but now I want to get a job in the graphic design industry. Uh, maybe not coding, website coding, because I hated that, and certain types of animation I didn't particularly like, but, like, my digital art is good. I know my art style is good, like okay, I'm gonna do this in a real shitty way, because I can't show you my desktop, but, um like, also with like, I design my own book covers. Uh, like, I know how to do it. I where is it? Trying to find a certain piece of art that I've been working on for months, and I was actually gonna continue to work on. I need to activate auto rotate. I mean, I speak well, but I also flub because I'm still somewhat not comfortable in front of the camera. I don't know how that's possible after all these years. Granted, I haven't been active for all of these years. But yeah, so here is a picture. It's kind of real low quality right now because my camera is recording at 720 because it's not the camera that I was going to have. But this is a drawing I've been working on for months, and it's following my current art style, which is no line art. I don't want to do line art. I just don't like the look of lines on art that I've done specifically. Like line art, fine. If someone else is doing it because they know what the fuck they're doing with that shit, I prefer just to work with shadows and just blocks of color. It's kind of real nice. But yeah, so that's something I was gonna work on, but you know what? I didn't because I couldn't do it any further. But yeah, it's fine. It's 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 a time. uh, but all right, I was gonna talk about my writing for. I got distracted. My God. But something I want to say about writing a book. Okay. I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna jump around a lot in topics here. But something with writing in a book. Um oh, thank you. Uh I have huge imposter syndrome when it comes to my art. So it means a lot to see that people do enjoy it. It just takes so long. Uh but yeah, so with writing though, I I have learned how to like handwrite codes. I have recently learned the pig pen cipher code because I will be using that in my third book. There's a lot going on in the third book, honestly. Uh, but with there's so much that goes into writing, and I when I first started writing, I didn't actually realize how far things could go in writing. I I really didn't realize how much work and research went into it because for this book here, for this one, I didn't really do a whole lot of research. And you would think that, oh well, she had to do some research with certain things. No, this I got this I got all the ideas from this from reading fantasy. I got any and all the other knowledge is just general knowledge that I've had. In fact, I don't actually know how a wedding goes. So I've faked that entire like last um chapter. Okay. I faked the entire like chapter 18 of my first book. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. And so yeah, also I am aware I was reading my physical version of my own book, and I have spotted some tiny little editing errors that happened and that got through me and got through my editor, and somehow it made it into publication. I'm thinking of just updating the file through Amazon because I've noticed mistakes. I've noticed things like when I'm in what chapter is it? 4, chapter 5. So that's it's in chapter 4. Um, which page though? Aha, here it is. So page 91 and 92 of my first book here. Uh, I'm talking about, I'm basically introducing all of the royals at this point from all 12 kingdoms. But like I noticed something in here, and at the very end of the first paragraph on page 92, I'm introducing Benevellian royals, but I noticed here that I have Inanian royals had zircon like blue eyes. It's supposed to be Benevellian, but you know, mistakes happen. I self-publish. What do you expect? There are a few things. There are also some like double words that happened. I don't quite know how, but they did. It's not like a terrible amount. I've only noticed like a couple, but honestly, it makes me want to fix it and just update it on Amazon, and there we go. But yeah, it's fine. Hardly anyone's bought my book because I'm terrible at marketing. I'm going to try and be a bit better with my second book, and then that'll get people to actually buy my first book. But yeah, it's kind of shitty. uh, and I I wrote this first book when I was in when I was 17. I wrote the I started writing this in my English class when I was 17. And frankly, uh I mostly did it because I was bored. Um, and the reason I was bored was because I was in a class that I was too smart to be in. So yeah, it's fun to have that as a constant thing. Uh, yeah, I was constantly bored in my English class because let's just put it this way. I was bumped down. So in Canada here, you have uh, dashes. There's different classes. So there's AP, there's dash one, dash two. Dash two is basically dash one, just a little slower and a little easier, and just it's fine. But so I was in dash one for grade 10, 11. Uh, but my teacher in grade 11 made no fucking sense. She she tried to teach us university level stuff, and I get it. She wanted to teach that, but also she should have made it make more sense because even our substitute teachers couldn't make sense of her notes. And then so barely anyone like got a good grade in her class because none of us knew what she was talking about. None of us. And she was grading harder than she should have. Because we weren't even AP students. Like, come on. um, but so the thing was, I also have this thing where I self sabotage, and so I will do work, I won't hand it in. I will I will do good on the tests, but if I don't have those hand-ins done, I'm not doing a good job. Uh, and also, like, I just didn't. If I don't like a teacher, I I don't do well in the class. I don't know why. I just I just don't. It's kind of just like awful, but yeah, I didn't like her. And because I was barely passing with like a 55 in her class, she had me dropped down from English dash one to a dash two for the next year. So I had 30 dash two English in grade 12. Now, when I tell you I wrote better than almost everyone else in the class, that year I had like a 97. I had a 97 in that class because almost every essay I handed in was 100% because I know how to bullshit my way through an essay. The the funny thing is, uh, on our essays for things that I just didn't want to read, like Shakespeare, because I just didn't want to read it, I actually would get 100% on those because I know how to bullshit my way and reasonings into things. And like all you need to do is have a basic understanding of the story, the plot line, and everything. And so there you go. Uh, I I do not suggest bullshitting your way through essays if you're still in school, but you know what? It worked for me. Uh, and yeah, it was quite the time. But sorry, my cat is doing something over by all the packed boxes. I don't know what she's doing because she's hiding. All I see is her tail. Am all right. But yeah, so it was. That's when I started writing, and now 23, working on the third book, of which I have. Hold on. This isn't gonna be like every word that's written because I write by hand first. My computer is being very slow, but yeah. There we go. Now I can open the fucking document. Uh, Sam, leave that alone, please. Yeah, my cat likes to play with my planning board, which is literally just a board of cardboard. And so she loves laying on it. She has almost ruined it. So hold on. Let's get her. There's my cat. Why did my screen go dark? Oh, there it is. Yeah, here she is. Here's She doesn't like being held, but she also loves attention. Get away from my teeth. Yeah. I've shown her in a few videos, but she doesn't exactly want to be held in front of a camera, so I and because I record most of my videos standing in front of those bookshelves over there, Kinda kinda doesn't work. Yeah. I got her for free off of an online platform. She was not treated well when I got her. I ha I had to fix I had to fix her mats. She had a lot of mats, so many. And then I found out from the vet that she had some dental problems. And so when I had just gotten a job, I had to fix her dental issues, which was close to $2,000. And I was not making enough for that, but I found a way to do it because I needed to make sure that she was eating because she was also malnourished because her dental issues were causing her to just not eat. And she's a weird cat in that she does not like wet food, which you would think a cat would love wet food, right? Yeah. Um, she does not. She absolutely doesn't, and it's kind of just there. But yeah, occasionally she will eat wet food, but she doesn't really she doesn't really like it as a constant food. Where most cats would love to have it as their constant food. I had to keep her on a wet food only diet after her dental surgery for about 2 weeks. And when I tell you the attitude that comes out of this cat when she does not have dry food is heavy. Like, and at the time, I actually had another cat. One I had to give away when I moved out because uh, the two of them were fighting for my affection and love, my attention. But because of that, I had to have dry food out for my other cat. But I had to like keep an eye on her to not have the dry food, and it was very difficult. She kept trying to go for the dry food, and I have to keep pulling her away, and it was just difficult to deal with. And I was like, Sam, for your health and betterment, you have to be on the wet food for this long. And I'm like, I tried my best, but you know what? I I can't really do much when she doesn't want to eat the wet food. So I think I only had her on the wet food diet for about a week before I could not handle uh her attitude anymore. Because this child here has quite the attitude. In fact, earlier today, she was just screaming at me. I couldn't figure out what the hell she wanted. And like she would just be screaming and screaming and screaming. And I'm like, what do you want? Show me what you want. Uh she would walk to her food. I gave her fresh water. I Her food dish is full. Like I have a just a large bowl for her because as it is, she doesn't eat that much. So I just give give her food in a large bowl to just like have her dish it out when she wants it. She's not like over it. I know a lot of pet owners don't do that because their pets will overeat. This one won't. She will undereat. So I have to just make sure she remains a healthy weight. So yeah, it is just very weird that she doesn't like wet food. I tried all kinds of wet food and she would not eat it. The only way I got her to eat it was if I basically turned it into full liquid. and then she would maybe drink it, and then she'd stop drinking her water. So what I would do is just dilute the shit out of it, but yeah, she never ate it. She didn't like to eat it all the time. So I will give her wet food like once a month because I mm, well, a little more than once a month, but like I try once every 2 weeks because, as you can tell, she is a very long-haired cat, and that poses some issues with all the hairballs. Like she had a hairball just a few minutes before had to stream, so that's yeah. Um, but yeah, she's she's fine. She's good. Um, yeah, yeah, um, it's a reality of having a long-haired cat. You get a lot of hairballs, like one a at least a week. Sometimes I get home and it's on my bed. So then I have to change my sheets. And I get home very late. So it's always fun. Also, I don't go in my room right away, so I don't notice it until I go to bed at like 3 a.m. because that's when I go to bed. Actually, last night I went to bed a little earlier at like 2. No, no, it was 3. I I went to my room at 2. I did not fall asleep until around 3. But yeah, she's treated nicely now. There was a time when she's also Sam is scared of fucking everything. Like if I make a very sudden move, she will just jump and not know what to do. I know when deliveries are always here because I hear a growl. And then she gets, like, super low to the ground and just, like, starts running to hide. But, yeah, she doesn't she's shy. She's good. Alright. See ya, Heart the Dead. Have a good day. I'm probably actually gonna end the stream soon because 'cause I've been talking for so long, and my birthday dinner is going to be delivered soon, so yeah, have a good day, but, yeah, more things about my lovely child here is yeah. But yeah, so she this one also here, she was also very not social when I first got her, but she's gotten a bit more social. I was also told that she was 10 months old when I got her about 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, she's 11 now. They were off by several years, but after I dealt with that emotional train wreck, I got over it real quick. I love her. She's she's good. She comforts me when she knows I need to be comforted. She she's just a good girl. She's my emotional support animal without being certified for it. But she is my emotional support animal. um yeah. So, yeah, things things are starting to turn up for me. I think things are going things are going well. they're starting to turn up. I have a place to live. I'll be signing a lease soon, and just really glad for that. But yeah, the so sorry, I was reading the text from my coworker. It's about a shift swapping, so it's fun. But yeah, so fucking hell. I keep getting distracted. Maybe I should stop listening to music actually. But yeah, yeah. So the thing is, life my life has been absolutely shit as of right now, but maybe hopefully soon it'll go up. Uh, cuz I as soon as I find a new job, I'll probably live in a much better life. I'm also going to be getting paid likely a lot more. Um and I won't have to cripple myself to do it. So, yeah. Life's good. It's good. It's fine. It's getting better. Right, Sam? Me? Um, but yeah. Anyways, I think we'll end the stream here. Uh, if yeah, I think I'll end the stream here because I have been streaming for over an hour. I've been talking a lot. I don't really have much else to say, but it was nice to do just nice good long video where I just talk talk about life, talk about you know get some things off my chest, get a little bit of that stress relief going there. Um, but yeah, so I tomorrow will be a new video, and I will tell you what it is here in a second. Come on, which one is it? Uh, ebooks suck and why I say they suck. Is tomorrow's video, so look forward to that. And yeah, so I will be ending the stream now, and yeah, see see you all later. Because I'm sure this stream will get some views when I've ended the stream here. So thank you for watching, and bye. End stream. Yes.